Good morning, my dear students. In the last session, you have studied what are the topics that you will be going to study in the first chapter, that is living world. You know that what is meant by living? Living means state of being alive. ಜೀವಂತವಾಗಿರೋದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವೇನಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ? ಲಿವಿಂಗ್. ಟು ಬಿ ಅಲೈವ್ ಈಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ಲಿವಿಂಗ್. So there are so many living organisms present on the earth's surface which forms the living world. So how can we differentiate, how to differentiate living from non-living things? Some of the common characteristics found in all living organisms are growth, reproduction, metabolism, cellular organization, and consciousness. When can we call a thing or an individual as living? Only when it will show all these characteristic features, that is growth, reproduction, metabolism, cellular organization, or consciousness. When all these 5 characteristic features are being exhibited, shown by a thing, or it might be the individual organism, so then we call it as a living organism. So these may not be seen, these will not be seen in case of the non-living things. So these are the characteristic features of living organisms. So now you will study one by one in detail. The first is the growth. What comes to your mind when you hear the term growth? Increase in your height. Yes, when you hear the term growth, what comes to your mind? It is increase in the height. So few years back, so you were a child, so now you are all grown up. Increase in the height. So say some 2 years back you are 4.8, yes, in height, and now you have increased to 5.6. So there will be increase. How? It is due to the growth. All living organisms grow. Growth is an important characteristic feature of all the living organism. Growth is permanent. Growth is permanent, irreversible. Growth is permanent, irreversible process. Why we call it as permanent? Because see, now there is increase in the size of the individual. Again, can you become short? No. So when a growth occurs, it is permanent and it cannot be reversed back. So growth is a permanent and irreversible change, irreversible process. It is increase in in the mass and increase in number of cells. Growth, it is the increase in mass and increase in number of cells. See here, due to the growth, so what will take place? We could find there will be increase in the weight. So mass means weight of the organisms, as well as, so how we can find there is increase in the size? Due to the increase in number of cells or enlargement of a cell. Due to the increase in number of cells or due to the enlargement of a cell, there will be increase in the size of organism. Okay, so when we hear the term growth, it is the picture that we could find there will be increase in the height of the individual organism. So why? It is due to the increase in number of cells or enlargement of cell. Okay, so we could find that the growth has two twin characteristics. Well, what are those two twin characteristics? See here, we could find increase in mass and the number of individuals are the twin characteristics. Increase in mass and increase in the number of individuals are the two characters of growth, or we can call it as twin characters. Twin means two. So we could find not only there is increase in the weight of the organism, but also when one individual produces many number of individual, that can also be considered as a growth. Okay, not only increase in the weight, but also when one individual produces many number of individuals, so that is also considered to be the growth. So hence, increase in mass and the number of individuals are the twin characteristics of growth. Yes, so these two, increase in mass and number of individuals, are the twin characters of the growth. How does growth takes place in living organisms? So you know that growth is increase in the weight, body weight, as well as increase in the size of organism. How do that increase in the size of the organism, height of the organisms takes place? It is internal. So growth in case of living organisms is internal. How do the growth in case of living organisms takes place? It is by internal. Okay, and it is called as It is called as intersusception. What is meant by intersusception? When the growth takes place from within, from inside, internally, so then it is called as intersusception. See here, by the process of cell division, so we could find the growth takes place in case of living organism. Either it might be unicellular or it might be in case of the multicellular organisms. Okay, so growth takes place internally by the process of cell division. So growth takes place by the process of cell division. In case of plants also we can find the growth. Even in case of the animals also growth is seen. Growth in case of plants. Growth in case of plants is throughout its lifespan. But whereas in case of animals, it is up to certain age. See, growth in case of multicellular organisms, you know, it is intersusception. It is from inside by cell division. So growth in case of plants, it is throughout their lifespan. From the time of birth up to the death we can find growth occurs in case of the plants, like producing of new foliage, leaves, flowers, fruits, okay, branches we could find. So growth occurs. But whereas in case of the animals, we could find the growth is only up to certain age. Up to certain age growth occur agata, ಆಮೇಲೆ stop ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಎಲ್ಲಿ? Animals ಅಲ್ಲಿ. Plants ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? Continuous ಆಗಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ throughout their lifespan. So in case of animals, only up to certain age the growth occurs. In animals, the growth, that is cell division, is seen only at the time of like cell repair or replacement. Okay, whenever you have a crack or a wound, only during that time cell division will occur. Okay, to replace the worn out cells. So to replace the new lost cells, old cells, we can find replacement or cell repair. Only that time the cell division will occur in case of the animals. So we can find in living organisms growth is from internal, and growth in living organisms takes place in a specific manner, in a proportionate manner. Okay, we can't find in a haphazard manner. Okay, only in a proportionate manner growth takes place within the living organisms. But in case of the non-living things also we could find the growth. Growth in case of non-living things non-living things is from outside. So we call it as accretion. What is meant by accretion? Accumulation of material from outside of the body. See, in case of non-living things, how does growth takes place? It is by the accumulation of material from outside of the body. Outside of the body. So growth in case of living, it is from internal. Growth in case of non-living, it is external. By accumulation of material from outside of the body. Like for example, mountains, sand dunes. What is sand dunes? ಈ ಥರ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಮಣ್ಣಿಂದು. ಹೌದಾ? ನೀವು ಚಿಕ್ಕ ಮಕ್ಕಳಿದ್ದಾಗ ಕಟ್ಟಿರ್ತೀರಲ್ಲ. Yes? Like this. So material starts collecting. The particle starts collecting on the top externally. And there is increase in the size. So that we call it as also considered as growth in case of non-living. So growth in case of non-living, it is by external. So now growth, we know that it takes place both in living as well as non-living. So then can we consider the growth as defining feature? Can we call growth as defining feature? No. Growth is not the defining feature. So why is growth not a defining feature? What is meant by defining feature? It should not have any exception. It should be applicable to all living organisms at all. Yes? See here, growth is not defining feature. Why? Because it has some exception. So yes, though all organisms grow, but in case of plants, growth is seen throughout its lifespan. But whereas in case of animal, growth, it is only up to certain age. Afterwards, we can find cell division will occur in animals, but only to replace out worn out cells. So it has some exceptions. Even in case of non-living also we can find growth. But growth, how it takes place in living and non-living is different. But it is even seen in case of non-living. So hence, growth is not the defining feature of living organism. So it is not the defining feature of living organism. So growth, it is a permanent, irreversible process. It is increase in mass and number of cells. So it increases the height of the organism. How? By enlargement, either by enlargement of the cell or by increase in number of cells. Increase in mass and the Number of individuals are the two twin characteristics, are the characteristics of the growth. So growth in case of living is internal, growth in case of non-living it is external. Next characteristic feature, it is reproduction. What is reproduction? Reproduction is a biological process. It is biological process where the parents produce out offsprings, progeny, which are of similar kind or which are having the characteristic features similar to the parents. Or reproduction is a process where the parents give birth to their offsprings, young ones. That is called as reproduction. It is a process of producing of offsprings, giving birth to the young ones. It's a biological process. Reproduction is of two different types. Sexual reproduction and asexual reproduction. Sexual reproduction is a kind of reproduction in which there is formation and fusion of gametes. A kind of reproduction in which there is formation and fusion of gametes. Okay, where we could find there will be formation of gametes as well as fusion of gametes takes place. So in sexual reproduction, two individuals are required, two parents are required. So in case of asexual reproduction, there is no requirement of no formation and fusion of gametes. There is no formation and fusion of gametes in case of asexual reproduction. Reproduction, it is of two different types. Sexual reproduction is shown by higher organisms. What is meant by higher organisms? Higher organisms are those in which we could find there is well-developed organ system which is which takes place the different metabolic activities. So sexual reproduction is being exhibited by higher organism. Asexual reproduction takes place by different ways. Spore formation, it is seen in fungi. Spore formation is seen in case of fungi. Spores are the spherical reproductive structures, reproductive cell. Yes, so within a fungi millions of spores are being produced. When dropped on a suitable place, a substratum produces out a new individual. So in case of fungi, asexual reproduction, it is by the spore formation. In case of yeast and hydra, asexual reproduction is by budding. So what is meant by budding? A small outgrowth, yes, a small outgrowth is developed from the parent body. That outgrowth grows, detaches and grows into a new individual. Yes, that is called as budding. A small bud develops over a parent body. So when it is fully grown, it will be detached and grows as a new individual. It is even seen in case of yeast as well as hydra. In case of planaria, flatworms, asexual reproduction is by regeneration. When a body is being divided, when a body is being cut, yes, the lost part will be newly produced and develops as a new individual. See here, now the body is cut into two pieces. So now this part, the tail part, it will be newly produced. So now this part produces the tail part. And now this tail part will produce the other remaining part. Okay. So in case of regeneration, it will produce out the lost part within an individual. Fragmentation. Fragmentation is also means of asexual reproduction that is shown by fungi, filamentous green algae, filamentous green algae and protonema of mosses. See, fragmentation is being shown by fungi, filamentous green algae and protonema of mosses. So in green algae, Protonema. What is protonema? So you will study it in the chapter plant kingdom. So in mosses we could find fragmentation. What is meant by fragmentation? So when the body of the individual, it is being accidentally broken into many pieces and each piece grows into a new individual. So where the body is being made into many fragments and each fragment have capacity to grow into new individual. So asexual reproduction is seen in case of lower organisms and it takes place by several ways. In different ways we could find asexual reproduction occurs. So reproduction is a process where a new offspring, a new individual, a progeny is being produced, giving birth to the young ones. So reproduction is not shown by the living things. It is not being exhibited. Then can we call the reproduction as a defining feature? Can we call the reproduction as defining feature? No. Reproduction is not a defining feature. It is not a defining feature. Why? Because see here, though the reproduction is seen only in case of living organism and not seen in case of non-living, but there are some living organisms which fails to reproduce. There are some living organisms which fail to reproduce. Like for example, mule, sterile, worker bee and infertile human couple. Mule, sterile means it's not a fertile. Bee is a, honeybee is a social insect where we can find, it lives in a colony where we can find a worker bee which is being sterile. It does not undergo the process of reproduction. And you have seen in our society there are some human couples which fails to reproduce, give birth. Okay, so though living it is a reproduction is a characteristic feature of living organism, but there are some living organism even without the reproduction also they can survive. So it is not applicable to all living organism. It has some exception. So hence reproduction is not a defining feature, because even without reproduction also there are some living organisms which can survive. So reproduction in case of, it takes place in unicellular organisms. In unicellular organisms, growth and reproduction, are synonymous to each other. Why? Because body is made up of only one cell, unicellular. where a cell divides, then we can consider twin characteristics of growth. Yes. So increase in number of cell. So that time we call it as a growth, or it can also be considered as reproduction in case of unicellular organism. That can be better studied in vitro condition. This can be studied in vitro condition. What is that in vitro condition? In vitro means that with respect to the unicellular organism, the increase in number of cells can be studied in the laboratory condition, in a culture medium, culture plate, or in a petri dish we can study. So, in case of unicellular organism, growth and reproduction means the same. So, they are synonymous to each other. So, growth is another characteristic feature of living organisms. The next characteristic feature, it is metabolism. Metabolism is defined as sum total of all biochemical reactions taking place within the living organism. All the biochemical reactions that takes place within the body of living organism, that is called as metabolism. So, metabolism is sum total of chemical reactions. Metabolism is of two different types. Anabolism and catabolism. Anabolism and catabolism. Anabolism, it is a building up process where synthesis occurs. For example, photosynthesis, where simpler raw materials are being utilized to produce a complex organic substance. So, it is an anabolic process. Catabolism, cata means breakdown. For example, digestion. Okay, breaking down process. Yes. So, anabolism is a building up process, catabolism is a breakdown process. So, metabolism is of two different types. Either it might be irrespective of unicellular or multicellular. All living organisms, they show these biochemical reactions, metabolic activities. If it is multicellular organism, there are different organ systems taking up different function. If it is unicellular, one cell itself performs all the functions of the body. But in case of the in vitro conditions, these metabolic reactions can be performed. That time they can be called as the living reactions, but not the living organism. Even these biochemical reactions, they can be performed in vitro conditions, in laboratory conditions. So, when these biochemical reactions, metabolic reactions takes place in vitro conditions, that time they are called as living reactions, but not the living organisms. So, when these metabolic activities, reactions, biochemical reactions takes place in vivo means within the body of living organism, that time we call it as living organism. So when can we call as living reaction? When these biochemical reactions takes place in laboratory condition, in vitro conditions. So all living organisms, irrespective of unicellular or multicellular, all show these, yes, biochemical reaction, metabolic activities. So hence metabolism is a defining feature, defining property. Metabolism, it is a defining feature of living organism. It has no exception. It is shown by, it is being applicable to all living organisms. Okay? So hence it is a defining feature. So in this session you have studied 3 characteristic feature: growth, reproduction and metabolism. So in the next session the other remaining characters you will study. Thank you.